So if you saw the recent video from the Observer, you know that the idea about increasing taxes may be on the table. While we get some information during the county budget discussions, we don't always see the comparisons between Carroll County and other jurisdictions. Now, one of the things that was floated in the Joint Commission and BOE meeting was raising the local income tax. Listen to this.
Income tax going from 3.03 to 3.2 would get us to that 6.7. And we're talking simplistic, very simplistic.
So I thought I'd research how much Carroll pays in local income taxes and look around the state to see what other jurisdictions are doing. It's not the easiest things to find, but I did find this data on the Maryland Comptroller's website. Look, I dropped all of this information into a spreadsheet. I know, not the best thing to look at on the screen like this, but I'm showing you this so you can see where Carroll County falls sorted highest to lowest, which is right in the middle of the state. Now, I'm going to make this a little easier to read. I broke this down into 4 categories. Category 1, or Tier 1, being jurisdictions at 3.2%. I've been told this is the highest allowable by the state for local jurisdictions. And it's no surprise that some of the largest jurisdictions are in this tier. You've got Baltimore City, Baltimore County, Howard, PG, Montgomery, and you also have a handful of other smaller jurisdictions in this tier. In Tier 2, this is where Carroll County falls today at 3.03%. You also have what I'm calling Tier 3s and Tier 4s. These are the lowest local income tax rates statewide. I want to go back to this first chart, and because the idea was floated out there of moving Carroll to 3.2%, which would put us with the other jurisdictions with the highest local income rates in the state. I also wanted to look at the history, so I reached out to Carroll County government and they provided me this information. I'm going to look at starting with 1999, where Carroll County was at 2.85% for local income tax rate. In 2004, that rate was raised to 3.05% and has been reduced twice since then, in 2014 and 2015, where we are today is at 3.03%. So that's just a little context of the potential raising of the local income tax. 2 questions come to mind as I think about and look at this data. It has been a while since the rate was raised, back in 2004. So is it time to consider raising that rate to make up the potential funding gaps in the upcoming budget? And the second question I have is, given the current rise in prices of what feels like everything across the board, is now the best time to add an additional burden to the taxpayers? Let me know your thoughts. And folks, stay tuned for part 2, because property tax increases were also mentioned. And I'll be doing a breakdown of that, looking at comparisons and look at what that could potentially cost. And finally, I hope you continue to follow the Carroll County Observers on all of our social media platforms for content just like this.